In this exercise, I want to play around with tnsnames files with a policy managed database. In a previous exercise, we've already set up a policy managed database and some listeners. So let me just do a few things. Let me just do a few things here. The policy managed database is called policy, and policy underscore 1 is running on rack 1, and policy underscore 2 is running on rack 2. This is a 2-node rack system. And let's go ahead and list out the listeners. Listener control status. We created 2 listeners, one called singleton and one called uniform. And the singleton listener is a singleton listener, and the uniform listener is a uniform one. So we find it in both places, whereas the singleton listener we only found in one instance. Let's look at the tnsnames files. I've already created them, so let's just take a look at them real quick. And so we have the policy one, which gets generated when we create the database with DBCA, and I created these others. I'm using the rack scan for both as the host, and same here. So it's a cat network and tnsnames.ora, and same thing here. Since we noticed that the singleton process was running only on node 1, when we connect there, we should only connect to node 1. Let's verify that. So and if we connect to the uniform, it should connect to various. It could connect to either policy 1 or policy 2. Let's just check. So in this particular case, we just connect randomly. As I indicated, however, let's just take a look. Okay, so we see the singleton process running here, and status, and we don't see it running here. I'm going to abort this database. Shut down, abort. Now let's do it for our status, and we see nothing, and we should see it here, LSNR status. And we see the singleton process is now cropped up here. So now let's just connect. System. Let's just start with singleton. And let's also connect to so what we've shown here is that when we do a shutdown aboard, the listener process does shift from one node to another. In a previous experiment, I actually tried to do a shutdown aboard via SRVCTL with the -O option in aboard, and it didn't seem to work this time. So in this particular case, I just did a shutdown aboard via SQL Plus, and it shifted the service right away to the other surviving node. And so what we've shown here is that the TNS names with the rack scan VIP works as expected, even with singleton and uniform listener services. And that's it for this exercise.